Welcome back everybody. On today's video I'm going to show you how I clean my driveway that looks like this to this. But we're going to do something a little different. Instead of using a pressure washer with a surface cleaner or even harder a spray gun with a wand, I'm going to show you how I use a cordless backpack chemical sprayer instead. So stay tuned. So the first step is to fill up the water. I like to put the water first, then the chemical, because if you put the chemical first, as you start to fill up the water, you get a lot of soap suds, and you have to keep stopping. So you definitely want to put the water first. And I go all 4 gallons the backpack sprayer can hold. I always rinse off the filter and the lid because you don't want debris getting into the sprayer pump. The chemical I buy at time of filming is in the chemical section at Home Depot. It's called Spray and Forget, and that's exactly what you do. Now this is an unsponsored video. I bought this product myself and I always buy the 1 gallon roof cleaner because I use it on my roof. But it also works on any outdoor items where rain can rinse over time. Check their website for details on what their product can and cannot be used on. Also note, I noticed lately they do sell a faster acting roof cleaner and a house and deck outdoor cleaner. And if you look at the label, it says for driveways and walkways. So the amount of concentrate that I use is 22 ounces per gallon of water. This ratio has been successful for me in the past. And at the end of this video, you'll see the results. On the Spray and Forget website, it states in their Q&A a 5-part water to 1 part concentrate for 1,000 square feet of coverage, or a 9-to-1 for 2,000 square feet of coverage. The 9-to-1 is if you're spraying as a preventative. I just filled the backpack sprayer just short of the 4 gallon mark with water and dump 4 pours of 22 ounce of concentrate in. I don't go too crazy with the exact amounts to the ounce for something like this. So I'm putting the last 22 ounces of concentrate into the backpack sprayer, putting the lid back on, and giving it a little shake to mix the concentrate with the water. But that's how easy it is. And now we're ready to have some fun and start spraying. So I always start at the top of the driveway and work my way down. And I use the cuts in the cement or the cracks as references and use 3 or 4 feet of imaginary sections to swing back and forth with the spray wand. I can spray this little walkway to my porch because rain will rinse it away continuously, but I can't spray inside the porch because obviously it doesn't rain in there. The reason why I use Spray and Forget on my driveway instead of pressure washing is because number 1, it lasts longer, 18 to 24 months. It has a residual effect. It actually adheres to the applied surface, so it cleans long after the stains are gone. It's not like I never use a pressure washer. In fact, at the end of this video, I show you briefly where you can't use Spray and Forget, and I use a pressure washer instead. But for my driveway, it's perfect. It's in a proper incline for the rain to continuously rinse away. I started the first part of the spraying, fast forwarding the video, but I slowed it down now so you can get an idea how long it really takes. As you can see, this is normal speed, but still doesn't take long to cover a lot of area. You can use a garden pump sprayer, but it takes much longer because you have to keep pumping and filling. I think a 4 gallon backpack sprayer is a good investment because you can use it for more than just around the house cleaning. I use mine for pest control, weed control, which I have made a video on how I use my backpack sprayer in those different ways, and another video on how I pressure wash around my house. So check out those videos for my tips and tricks on those DIY tasks within my channel. So I'm going to speed up the video again to finish this last part of the spraying of the driveway, but I will slow it down again soon so you can see a close-up of how I spray the really moldy sidewalk under my oak tree. Most people don't realize that the main reason your driveway, fence, roof, just about everything outside, especially if it's in the shade or north side of your house, starts to look dirty or stained is not because of dirt. It's caused mostly by mildew, mold, and algae. Spray and Forget is a no-rinse, eco-friendly exterior surface cleaner. Rain does the rinsing. It penetrates and dissolves stains caused by mildew, mold, and algae. Then prevents mildew, mold, and algae from coming back for over a year, usually up to 2 years. My opinion is that there are 4 main parts of your house that give it curb appeal: your roof, paint, landscaping, and driveway. If your house has a clean roof, paint is in good condition, landscaping is looking nice, especially your grass, and your driveway and sidewalks look clean, your house overall will look beautiful. And this is how I use Spray and Forget to help me with 2 of those 4 main areas, my roof and my driveway. Now in the directions, it says to thoroughly wet all perimeter landscaping with water immediately before and after application. And as you can see, I'm being careful not to spray the grass. Also, you can see stains may appear darker for a few days immediately after application, which is a positive sign that the product is working correctly. I was applying spray and forget during our Florida winter time, which of course is not much of a winter, so the grass already wasn't at its best. So I wasn't too concerned with getting this close without wetting it first, but it's always a good idea. Also, before we get to the end of the spraying and you get to see the results, I wanted to mention, depending on your sensitivity level, you can consider wearing a respiratory mask, gloves, and I wear goggles when I'm spraying up because the wind can suddenly blow the chemical back at you. So now that I'm just about done with the sidewalk, all the main spraying of the driveway area is completed. That's it guys, I could stop right there, but I start trying to find any other areas that I can spray to empty out my backpack sprayer, including this roadside side drain. My neighbor a few houses away is pressure washing his driveway, so the spraying I'm doing now is not going to be as effective and non-existent in the wet area. It takes time for the chemical to work and kill the mold, mildew, and algae. But like I mentioned before, spray and forget will clean the mold, mildew, and algae off at any surface that the rain hits and washes away, so I always hit these landscape borders. You'll see in the end that it even kills ants when I spray the ant mound. Just kidding, I have no idea if it kills ants. So as I'm continuing trying to empty out my backpack sprayer with the last of the chemical, I like to hit the upper section of the driveway a second time. My theory is the chemical washes down the driveway, so I like a heavier application toward the top. Take notice as I'm spraying this area that's already been sprayed. You can see the rusty orangey brown spots. That's the moldy areas reacting to the chemical. You can really see it on the white porch. Also that orangey area right there in the middle and all around. The other reason why I like to do this area a second time is because I'm going side to side instead of up and down. I'm starting to sound like Mr. Miyagi, but seriously, changing up the spraying pattern ensures better coverage. I really wanted to show you this final close-up so that you can see what to expect as the mold is reacting to the chemical. It always tends to be worse near the house because of shade. Now that I'm finishing up this final section of the driveway, I'm going to use the last of what's left in my sprayer for some areas in the back of the house, including the area I mentioned earlier I power washed 2 days earlier that I will now treat as a preventative with the chemical. So let's go do that now and head to the back. On the way I noticed the stepping stone I used to turn on and off the hose, so I sprayed that real quick. And then I usually get around the condenser concrete pad. When you spray in a tight spot like this or stop the wand in one spot for too much time, the chemical suds up, but that's okay. I usually spray the wall back here too. So let's continue heading to the back patio and go back into time 2 days earlier. As you can see, the back patio just gets a lot of dirt on it because it lies low to the ground and is flat with no incline. Plus, I've been slacking and should have cleaned this back here sooner. Also notice the mildew on the windowsill. Spray and forget will keep the windowsill from getting like this again anytime soon if I keep up with it. And I will spray the porch in a moment to slow down the porch from looking this bad for a while. Spray and forget just can't stop all this dirt from getting on the patio when it rains real hard. That's why I still have to pressure wash this area periodically. So you can spray and forget areas that rain flows across, but it just doesn't work on low-lying areas that accumulates actual dirt and mud. Now let's return forward in time. I spray the windowsill and porch, and you can see the orangey rusty reaction again on the white patio. Remember, that's after I pressure washed. There's still more mold and algae growing on it. So that's why it definitely helps to spray an area like this, even after a pressure wash, with a preventive spray to help slow things down from looking this bad. I'm at a point where I'm running real low on chemical in my sprayer, so I'm just going to give it a quick light coat. I still have one more small area on the fence to spray before I run out of chemical, but going back into time one last time, you can see how mildewy this back fence got. I usually keep up treating this fence with spray and forget as a preventative before it gets this bad. Cutting the overhanging branches helps too. So even though I'm about to treat just one section of the fence I missed during pressure washing, I will go back and treat the whole fence in the near future. So returning forward in time, like I mentioned, I forgot to pressure wash the small section a few days ago, but spray and forget will easily clean this over time with rain over the next month. We can hear the sprayer pump struggling to get the last of the liquid out. Okay guys, this is what you've been waiting for. Let's watch the results. This rain was 9 days after spraying. It did rain a day or two later after I sprayed, but I didn't film it. The directions state that you need to spray 24 hours prior to any rainfall or snow, so you have to watch the weather forecast and time it just right. You don't want it to rain before 24 hours while the chemical is working on killing the mold, mildew, and algae, but it's okay if it takes several weeks to rain. I just like to time it 24 hours before rain to let one rinse happen close to the time that I applied it. This is now 13 days after spraying. Hopefully you're picking up in the video that it's starting to look cleaner. What do you guys think? You can see it by the sidewalk compared to the next driveway, and you can see more white on this sidewalk under the oak tree. I can tell at least at this point the mold growth has stopped. This is now 48 days after spraying. Hopefully you can see that it's starting to look much cleaner. The amount of time it takes to really start looking good all depends on how much rain you get. I sprayed my driveway during the winter, but it doesn't rain as much in the winter. But once summer comes, it rains every day in Florida, mostly in the late afternoon. You're going to see that now in the July update. This is 216 days after spraying. This is in the middle of our Florida summer when we start experiencing a lot of rain. Wow guys, you can see how much whiter and colored it is now, and in person even more impressive. The whole driveway and sidewalk are very clean now, like I pressure washed. Any dark gray spots you see is just part of the cement color. Even if you power washed it, they don't turn white. Remember how moldy the sidewalk was? Nice and clean and white in color now. Let me show you with a split screen the results because it makes it easier to see the color difference. It doesn't even compare. I'm always amazed how clean the sidewalk under the oak tree looks compared to before. It's a night and day difference. You would think that you could only get those results by pressure washing. Even the landscape borders look clean now. The one downside to using a chemical that I feel is the reason why most people prefer to pressure wash, of course, is they want instant results. But when you consider how long, or if you hire someone, how much money it takes to pressure wash, I found it easier just to use a sprayer to keep my driveway and the rest of the outside of my house clean and looking new. How about you guys? Any of you who pressure wash now considering using a backpack sprayer instead? Are you going to still pressure wash and use spray and forget as a preventive measure? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to warp back into time one last time so you can see the difference. You got to admit, using a chemical makes it look really clean. Thanks for watching everybody. Please hit the thumbs up if you like this video and be sure to subscribe. Also hit that bell icon. Click any of these links on the screen to check out my other home DIY videos.